With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you'll find top brand kitchen appliances with innovative features that can do more, so your holidays can be more. Ovens with built-in air fryers for baking the perfect cookies. Dishwashers with smart tech to clean everything from bakeware to festive mugs. And high-capacity refrigerators to keep leftovers fresh. Shop Black Friday savings and get up to 30% off, plus instantly save up to $750 on select GE kitchen packages at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Offer valid November 2nd through November 30th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Lady Lunchington presents Sandwichisms.
Team meetings are a part of the job. Unless they cut into your lunchtime. Like seriously, Bill, this could have been an email. You know this Oscar Mayer bologna sandwich is too important to miss.
This has been another Sandwichism by Lady Lunchington, world's only certified lunch coach. Sandwich more at ladylunchington.com.
What is up, everybody? Michael Rapaport in the great state of Michigan. I love Michael Rapaport, and the guy does just about everything, man. Act, comedy, produce, direct, piss people off, podcast. Holy shit, the I Am Rapaport podcast is fantastic. Links to all this shit in the show notes of this. He's awesome. I enjoyed talking to him. A real pro, and he is all about the hustle. The guy just puts in the time. I appreciated him doing publicity for his events. You have on Thursday, the 3rd of November, Park Theater in Holland, Michigan. And then in Grand Rapids for 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday at Grand Rapids Comedy Club, part of Creston Brewing. And then on to Sunday to the notoriously famous, I shouldn't say notorious, that it implies something bad. The magnificent Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Metro Detroit, Royal Oak, Michigan. Tickets for all these shows, MichaelRapaportComedy.com. Okay. I enjoyed my time with Michael Rapaport, and I hope you enjoy it too.
Thanks for having me. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Your first night on Thursday, you're going to be in a building that was built in like 1886.
Does it smell like it was built in 1886?
Well, you know it has been. I mean, geez, 150 years old. You should go on like a ghost hunting exhibition or something.
All right. I'll do that. I'm really looking forward to performing in the state. I've always had an affection for Detroit. I've never been to Grand Rapids, never been to Holland, so I'm looking forward to it. I always like the people and Michigan as a whole.
One of the things I've liked about you, Michael, is well, in addition to you just had a fantastic career, you don't really give a shit what anybody thinks. You say whatever you want, and I love that. And I think that we need more of that. So I just wanted to say good on you for not backing down on the things that you like to talk about and express about yourself.
I appreciate it. You know, I've always been opinionated. With social media, you know, I've been able to share the opinions more with my podcast. You know, I've been able to share the opinions more with going on other people's podcasts, with you know, doing the guest spots on the TV shows and stuff like that. It's sort of this newfound thing for people that didn't know me personally, but I enjoy it. There's a lot going on in the world, and I have a lot to say.
Have you, if you can look back over the years, because we're like almost the identical same age. You were born 3 months before I was born, and I look back to the way I used to think, you know, however many years ago. Have you been evolving? Because I have. I mean, I think differently, way differently now. And if I had to do a podcast 30 years ago, it'd been way different.
100%. I've been evolving. I don't think, you know, some people say like, oh, you know, I haven't changed. I've never changed. That's, you know, that's your problem. You know, I've gotten older. Hopefully I've gotten smarter. I've definitely gotten, you know, more comfortable and more clear with what I want out of the world, what I want for myself, what I want for, you know, my little contained world. Like everybody has their own little contained world. You know, I definitely think I've evolved, and I agree. If I had done a podcast when I was 19, when I first started thinking about, being in show business, I would have definitely. I didn't even know I wasn't on video. Sorry about that. Sorry, I thought I was on video.
I didn't want to assume. Sometimes people don't want to be on camera.
No, it's an audio medium. I didn't even notice it. But if I would have liked just to have it as a timestamp, as a sort of diary. If I did a podcast when I was 19, 20 years old, even 15, 16, I thought it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious to have, an hour-long point of view on, I was trying to talk to this girl, and I played this basketball game. And, who the fuck knows the mundaneness of a 15, 16-year-old teenager. I heard this. I mean, it would probably be cool, but, it'd be fascinating to have that. I wish I did have that. It's a different time. It's not like, we took pictures of ourselves all the time. There was some pictures taken because, it was film and all that stuff. And it certainly wasn't podcasts and, microphones and, and MySpace pages and, turned into Facebook pages and Snapchats. And it's just, we weren't as documented. We weren't as documenting ourselves as we are now, which I think we all do to a point.
It's really remarkable if you think about it, how the fact that the internet, podcast, YouTube, TikTok, all these things have kind of made it so anybody can very possibly be a megastar. Some of the biggest names on those platforms were just schmucks. And then all they did was they found something, wash, rinse, repeat. And it's astonishing what they've been able to accomplish.
I agree. I think, look at Justin Bieber. He was discovered on YouTube. So I think it's I think the internet is great. I think all the technology and all that stuff is great. I think, some of it is redundant, like anything, but I think, there's more positives than negatives. Social media, it's you have your good things and your bad things from it. But I'll take it. You just try to, I certainly, get caught up in it. You try not to let it control you. You try to, control it. And I enjoy it and appreciate it and definitely use it, to my advantage for the most part, I think.
I was listening to the latest episode of I Am Rapaport, and you touched on something that stood out to me that kind of has to do with this. The fact that now you'll have a YouTuber, Jake Paul, with the Paul brothers, and people, including you, paid for that shit to watch these motherfuckers fight. And that, what the fuck?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it really says something about the state of boxing. And
Yeah.
It's almost like, Jake Paul will be the first to say, I just started boxing 3 years ago. And I'm like, well, what the fuck does that say about boxing? If you can even call what he's doing boxing. To me, they're exhibition fights.
Yeah.
He's making money off exhibition fights. These are independently sanctioned, professional. They are professional fights because there's a lot of money being exchanged, but it's not high-level boxing.
No.
But, more people under 25, would be able to tell you, the 6 people that Jake Paul fought besides, any other, mainstream boxer.
I think back to when we were growing up and we remember watching like Wide World of Sports, like Roberto Duran versus Sugar Ray or Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler. I mean, youth. And I don't know what in the world happened that no longer became a thing. It just all of a sudden, poof, boxing was gone,
It really sucks. I think some of it is boxing itself's fault. The fact that it's, it's all over the place and it's never been unionized, and all that stuff. I think, these young fighters now, Ryan Garcia and Javante, and, they've been speaking out about it, saying we want to fight and we can't fight because, one of them's WBC, one of them's WBA. And as much as I'm a boxing fan, I still wouldn't be able to explain to someone who knows less than me about what these problems are. But I think it's all about having, one structured union. It's sad because, those fights in those times, from when I was a kid and even before, but, the later Ali fights and the Sugar Ray Leonard Duran fights and the Sugar Ray Leonard Hearn fights, the Larry Holmes fights and obviously the Mike Tyson fights and the Aaron Pryor, like I said, the whole Tyson era, and even into, Pacquiao and Mayweather. I think that's when it started to get, started to wean down.
Right,
but
right.
I think when the heavyweight champion became unknown, that's when the sport suffered, because that was like a big deal. The heavyweight champion of the United States, or the heavyweight champion of the world, was from the United States. And then it became like the Klitschko's and, there's some people you never even heard of. And that's when I think boxing really started to suffer.
Right.
This holiday, whether you're making a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
And right now, you can save when you shop your faves. Just buy 6 or more participating sale items and save 50 cents each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I know we're jumping all around, but you've got to. Here's the thing about you, Michael. With so much that you've done, I look at the body of work, because stand up, acting, producing, podcasting. You have your hands in so many things. Do you have a favorite? Because doing so much, there's got to be something that appeals to you the most. Correct?
To be honest with you, no, I don't think it's something that appeals to me the most. I think they, appeal to me in different ways. I love doing stand-up. I'm very excited about performing in Michigan this weekend. I love doing my podcast. It's like a diary. It's like a, sort of a, my news, my personal news, my take on the world news, on the sports news, on the, my life, my health, all my bullshit. Obviously acting is my first sort of artistic love. I'm always going to act. I'm always going to, get off on acting. It's always going to be something I want to do. And just being creative and having the outlet to articulate myself and express, myself, all those things, that we just mentioned, and directing all stuff, it all sort of adds up into the bucket of things that I get off on doing. So it would be hard to say, which I like more than the other, because I really don't. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I've ebbed and flowed with the times. I'm lucky that I got in on the podcast early. I'm lucky that I had the ability and the sort of, you need a drive to do stand-up comedy, because I love doing that. The interaction with a live audience is great. And the interaction when I'm booming and, even doing other people's podcasts, because
Sure.
it's all performance art. This is a show. Your podcast is a show. The Eric Zane show, Eric Zane podcast. So when I come on people's shows, I want to give a good show. I don't want to be, it's a show, and sometimes people think that when they see me in real life, they think that I'm going to be like, motherfucker this and motherfucker that, this is sort of my persona. It's who I am, but it's not like this. I'm like this all the time. The internet has given people like a different look into, the way I am, but it's not. Sometimes people they're surprised when I'm drinking coffee at the Starbucks that I'm not screaming and yelling.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's true. When you speak, you may have, those moments, but if you didn't, it'd be boring. Nobody would pay attention to you. But
exactly.
And the other side of that is, you're not going to walk around in Holland, Michigan and give people the finger and shit either.
Exactly.
There's a normal person behind that.
Yeah. Maybe in Holland, there are a couple of times, but it's all fun. It's all fun. I don't think I'll be I don't think anything will, it'll be anything serious. It's all fun and games.
You've got a couple of moments that stand out to me that have brought me great joy. And one is Wilfred the cat. Back in 2018 is when that started, the cat with the underbite and the eyes. And then you took just a video of this odd looking cat, overdubbed it, and it blew up. And some people were like, who is that? Oh, that might be Michael Rapaport. And then, yeah, it kind of like really took off crazy. Can you take me through all of that and your connection to it? Did you actually speak to the family? And
I spoke to the family later. It's crazy. I never would have thought that would have turned into what it turned into. I've done a bunch of videos before that. I've done a bunch of videos after that. Some I think are the greatest thing in the world and no one sees. I didn't think twice about the Wilfred video with the cat. I honestly didn't. Like I said, I had done videos before that. Why that particular one resonated, if I knew the answer to how to make things go viral and how to get people's attention, I would be, probably a way wealthier man. I just do it and I say it, and there's not much thought into it. It's sort of like a childish sort of thing that I do. I see these things and I'll just do the video and I put it out, and sometimes people see them and sometimes people don't. Sometimes I'm like, this is going to be the best thing ever, and no one ever sees it. I don't know why or how it works. I just keep doing them.
So on that one, from the time you first saw the video to the time you published, how much time took place? Was there a lot of rehearsal or was it just one?
Once, boom. Nothing. I mean, I do them usually when I'm on the street and walking my dog. A lot of them I've done when I'm walking my dog. I mean, I'm just doing them. Like, it's not like I'm thinking about it, or like I said, if I knew how to contrive it and manufacture it, I would definitely have benefited from it, because they just sort of happen.
Getting back to your stand-up, which a lot of people will be able to see this for a terrific run Thursday to Sunday in the great state of Michigan. What do you take me through the act? What do you touch on a little bit?
I touch on everything. I break balls, but I first break my balls. I feel like if you're going to talk shit, you have to be able to take it as good as you give it. So, I talk about myself. I try to I don't assume everybody knows everything about me. So I just talk about, where I am in my life, my age, how I got here, the last couple of years. I talk some social stuff, some politics. I talk some sports, talk about being married, talk about being divorced, talk about my kids. And, I talk to the crowd. I like to interact with the crowd. But, I like to give a good show. I take it very seriously and respectfully, that people, with all the opportunities to be on your phone, to watch this game, to watch that game, to watch Netflix, to watch Hulu, or to just, watch the sunset. When people come out to see me, I want to give them the best show I possibly can. So, the tickets in for the shows have been, doing really well for a while. So, I've really been looking forward to having this weekend of shows in Michigan, and I want to give it everything I have every minute I'm on stage.
6 shows, 4 nights, and like 200 plus miles with the traveling across this. That's fantastic. That's what you say about the hustle right there.
That's it. I'm looking forward to it. I really, truly am looking forward to it. And I'm, I'm glad you had me on the show. I appreciate you taking the time with me.
Real quick, one more thing. 1997, I think one of the most underrated movies is Copland. All-star cast. And can you take me through that? I mean, here you are, 27 years old, and you've got De Niro, you've got Ray Liotta, God rest his soul, you got Harvey Keitel. I mean, what the heck? Sylvester Stallone, of course. Oh my gosh.
I was as excited as anybody else would be to be around those people. Sylvester Stallone, seeing Rocky at 6 years old changed my life. I didn't want to be an actor. It just was the first film that I fell in love with, the first character that I fell in love with, and everything afterwards. And Robert De Niro is like, I got to work with him, but he means so much to me as an actor, and he's still to this day such an inspiration to me, and such a person who's entertained me, and someone I've learned from as an actor. And Harvey Keitel and Ray Liotta, and just being around those guys, and to shoot that movie in New York City, where I'm from, in I believe it was the fall. It was as exciting for me as it would be for any other actor and any other fan of movies. However you would imagine the excitement and the anticipation that I had, it was that and more. I was very aware of what I was doing, who I was doing it with, and what my goal and intention was to be as great as I possibly could, to have as much fun as I possibly could, to try to get as much out of it as I possibly could, and it's something that I cherish. There's always going to be a part of me that's a fan, whether it was working with them, whether it's watching other stand-ups that I love now, whether it's doing the stuff that I've been doing recently, like Only Murders in the Building, or the Amy Schumer show, or the show Atypical. Whatever I'm doing, I'm excited to go to work, and I'm excited to be around other great performers that that I'm a fan of, or that I was a fan of before I even started acting. I take it as an honor and a privilege, whenever I do it. And as I've gotten older, you appreciate it, even more as time goes on.
That is excellent, Michael. I love to hear that. Well, everybody's excited to see you. 6 shows in 4 nights. Great state of Michigan. MichaelRapaportComedy.com. It's all listed there. Very easy to buy a damn ticket. Got Thursday night, Park Theater. Friday, Saturday, 2 shows. Grand Rapids Comedy Club. And then Sunday, he goes over to Mark Ridley's Comedy Club, which is a legendary room and just a great, great group of people over there. And you get to hang with Rick Mahorn. So holy shit, that's fantastic.
Right. That's right. My guy Rick Mahorn is going to become a bad boy Detroit icon. Needs no introduction. He'll be in the crowd, and I'll be breaking his balls. That's one of my. I love that dude. He's a good dude, and he's just a sweet, sweet guy. His bad boy image was all fake, because he's just a nice, gentle giant.
Well, that's the thing. Michigan, they love the athletes that play there and have success. They make their homes there because the fans just love those people. It's absolutely
I'm
great.
sure. Growing up, one of my first favorite, basketball players, Isaiah Thomas, and I loved him his season at Indiana, and then I was in love with him when he played for the Pistons. I've always loved Isaiah Thomas, and even though they duked it out with my bad boy, with my New York Knicks, those teams out there, were awesome with Mike, with Isaiah and Darryl Walker, and then they evolved to Kelly Drapuka, and when the bad boys became the bad boys. I've always liked them.
Very cool. Michael, thank you for taking the time and doing this. It's really a privilege to talk to someone who's done so much in their fields, and it's just great to have you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate the support.
All right. God bless, Michael.
Thank you, man.